the Zombie Apocalypse training video for Functional Fridays. If you're like me and you're kind of obsessed with the zombie apocalypse theme, then you've thought about where you would fit in when the zombie apocalypse actually happens. For me, I'm pretty fit, so I feel like I'd be okay, but there's just a few things that I had to kind of adjust. So I started, taking up running. You have to get that cardio going in order to run away from the zombies.
Rule number 1 for surviving Zombieland: cardio.
But there's also another element in it. You want to be able to prevent injuries, especially if you're, in the forest, running away from zombies, running away from crazy people trying to kill you. You have to prevent these injuries so you can just keep going. Today I'm going to show you a few stretches that you can do after you go for a run to prevent injury and to keep those muscles nice and long and lean. If you're not too concerned with the zombie apocalypse and you just want to take up running as a sport, because it is great for the heart, it's great for the body, then these stretches are great for you too, to prevent the injuries and to keep your body going through the run. Is the hamstring stretch. And if you don't have one of these cool little stretch straps like I do, that's okay. You can always just use your hands. But these things are great to help to get you into a deeper stretch. So what you do, you're just gonna bring it around the foot, and you can either extend the opposite leg or keep it bent depending on how flexible you are. So what you can do, you're gonna lay down and bring that leg up. So you want to make sure that you're keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. You don't want to bring the upper body up like this. You want to try to just get that hamstring isolated, nice and stretched, keeping shoulders relaxed. And you want to hold it for about 30 seconds and release. You can do that on both sides, 30 seconds each. I'll show you how to do it if you don't have the stretch strap. So you just lay down, you would grab onto the back of the thigh, again relax the upper body, and just give it a nice pull. If you can, reach for the calf, or if you're not as flexible, just reach behind the leg. And that's it. The next stretch I'm going to show you is for the hip flexors. So the iliopsoas, the muscles that run from the lower back all the way down to the knee. So these are super important to stretch out, especially after a run, because you're in that forward movement. So you're going to bring one leg forward, bring that other leg back. And you want to try to keep the back in a nice neutral pelvis. You don't want to let it arch too much. You want to almost come up into a little bit of a pelvic tuck. Then you're going to place both hands on the hips and lunge forward, getting a nice stretch in that left hip flexor region. Again, you just hold it for about 30 seconds and release. And I'm going to show you on the other side. Bring that left leg forward, get into a nice neutral pelvis, and lunge forward, getting a nice stretch in those hip flexors. The next stretch I'm going to show you is for the booty, technical term, the glutes. If you're running in proper form, you should be using your glutes. So you should feel pretty sore in them after your run. Very important to stretch. So you're going to lay down, bring one ankle on top of the leg, and then you're going to reach in between the thighs, relax the upper body, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed, and give the leg a nice tug, getting a really good stretch in the right glute. Hold it for 30 seconds. And switch. The stretch is going to be for the quads, so front of the thighs. What you're going to do, you can place one hand on the wall, grab onto that foot, and just give that foot a nice pull, stretch out the front of the leg. So again, you want to hold it for 30 seconds on both sides, and release. One stretch that people might not really think of to do as they begin a running program is for the neck. And why do we have to stretch out the neck when we run? Because the longer you run for, the more form kind of goes out the window, and a lot of people tend to hunch their shoulders up, putting a lot of pressure on their neck, making that neck super tight. So what you can do to kind of release the tension in the neck, you're going to bring one ear towards the shoulder and then grab hold and just give the neck a nice pull. You want to hold this for about 30 seconds and then go on over to the other side. Yeah. Last stretch I'm going to show you is for your calves. It's definitely important to stretch these out after a run because they're playing a major part in getting you through the running movement. Place your arms against it about shoulder height, and then step one foot back, one leg forward, and you're going to bend that front knee, lunging forward, getting a nice stretch in that back calf. Hold it for 30 seconds and switch. So now you're fully prepared for the zombie apocalypse. If you were to find yourself in that situation, now you know. Just tell the zombies, hold up, I gotta stretch. Stop trying to chase me right now. Get your stretches on, and then you're good to go.
You coming?
Yes. Yeah, 1 second.
You should actually limber up as well. Especially if we're going down that hill, it is very important.
But if you're living in the real world, boring, then make sure you're doing these stretches after you go for your runs, especially on those long endurance runs. So I hope you enjoyed this week's Functional Friday video, and I hope to see you next week. Have a great weekend. Goodbye. You should put like Daryl like next to me, because I love him.